Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to Amabel Goes to 4X School, Endless Legend game number 7000. I think that's about where we're at. Where we're pushing hard towards the end of the faction quest, but unfortunately we've hit a little bit of a stopping block. Level 6
Mhm.
Ateshi Zealots is going to be a little bit of a problem. I think there's a pretty good chance that we're just not going to be able to get this done until we enter Era 5. We need the
Yeah.
extra starting level on our Zealots. That's not
Now,
great. That's not great for us. But we are pumping out a pretty decent amount of science per turn. Not like an awesome amount in terms of what everybody's doing, but a decent amount relative to what our technologies cost.
yeah.
Certainly
So,
kicking the crap out of red.
so let me ask about that because you
Yeah.
need how many to get to level 5? How many more researches?
Like 6 more, I think.
And that can
Yeah.
come from any of the previous tiers. Are
Correct. Yeah.
are
We
the earlier
also
tiers
we also
cheaper?
are able to trade for them. It doesn't matter where we get them. The
Okay.
earlier tiers are cheaper, yes,
Okay.
but not hugely so. And you do want to still
Okay.
be getting like some value, right?
Could you show me a couple so I can see how it scales if you don't?
Yeah. So like the research cost of nutrition chemistry in our current age is 3670 base.
Mhm.
Something from the previous age would be 3183. Something from era 2, 2677. And something from era 1 would be like 2172. And topography is a great example of the kind of thing we might actually go back for, because the Geomic Labs is a fine building and it's actually better once your cities have started to expand. Like, we're in a position now where we actually do want to build that. And the Center for Mineralogy is a thing you can construct in one city to really like supercharge your ability to do research in that city. So like that is something that's definitely going in the queue. And in fact, it's going to go in the queue ahead of a bunch of this other stuff.
And every time that you do a research, the cost for researches goes
Yes,
up
it
across the
pushes
board.
up every other researcher's cost. One element of the way research costs are calculated is it's like a number based on their root era plus a number based on how many technologies you have, and then I think also also there's some modifier for the difficulty scaling. Something I don't know.
Now, when we played Civ, we played with a civilization that did not research the normal way.
Yeah.
Uh, is this also a feature of a game like Civ where the research cost goes up for earlier for everything, or is it something unique to Endless Legend?
Where the research cost goes up for earlier or what?
For where everything, so the more researches you have, the more expensive researches get.
Oh, I don't actually know if that's the case in Civ. I know that obviously Civ's researches that are later in the tree have a significantly
Yeah.
higher base cost, right? It
So I
might.
guess with
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll say I guess with Civ though, because of the tree, you know, the impetus to doing an earlier one is unlocking a later one, whereas here they're not the different technologies aren't linked in that same way.
Right.
Which is something I really like about it. Actually, I think is a really smart approach, and it's less deterministic. Again, this isn't a historical game, but it
Well,
has.
neither is Civ. So
That's true, but this doesn't have pretensions to be a historical game, but it feels more like the way scientific progress is made historically, where it's not some kind of predetermined chain that can be predicted. And
found nothing in that ruin. That's fun. So we got a tremendous number of purple troops here, headed down to put an end to red. They have apparently decided that the city of Karndar is too well defended, so we're just gonna skate down here and grab this one. Okay, so we just finished Endless Mechanisms, which is a technology that resets all of the ruins on the map for us. So we get to search everything again. If we can stop getting bad luck and having things come up empty, which I believe is like a 20% chance by default, we can get a fair amount of stuff out of this. Sometimes the rewards that are available from a ruin get more impressive as the game goes on. Unsearched ruins are more valuable later. The Guardian headed for Morinlock can be defeated in battle. It can also be redirected toward another empire if you activate 2 Titan Bone boosters. A Dust Guardian is headed to Morinlock. I don't like that. That's not a good thing to find in a ruin.
No.
We're not set up to fight a Dust Guardian. Okay, well, I mean, it is what it is. Let's get our Telsum Warlock out over here, and we can search some of these sea ruins real quick. So there are pink ships in the water over here. We saw that. They can't attack us within our borders without a formal war declaration, and I think they'd be unlikely to make that because, well, I was going to say because they're probably afraid of green, but I remembered that green is formally at war with them already. So never mind. I guess we'll see. But it does mean we have to be very careful about ending our turn out in neutral waters because their boats can absolutely just snipe us out there. Pardon me. We are still producing a tremendous amount of dust, I realized, and we probably should make sure, first of all, that all of our cities are governed. Secondly, we're going to be buying out science buildings, trying to accelerate this process of pushing into the next era. Okay, so Ideli has finished a burrow, which is fine. We do have our dock up already. I don't know that I want to build an advanced alchemy lab here. The city's pretty small. And I'm thinking, like, it takes 25 titanium to build the fancy science buildings that we're working up to, the next set of them. So we might want to just take it easy on this for a moment. Let's build some approval buildings. We'll continue trying to build around our dock. I'm trying to let Pink move all their stuff around and expend all their movement points before we send this guy out to claim the sea ruin in neutral territory. And we have treaties. Blue would like a formal offer of peace. I mean, all right. And Green would like to make an exchange. Green would like to give us a technology. They haven't picked up endless mechanisms yet. Okay, so this is good for us in 2 different ways. Green is over the threshold for being able to research the endgame technologies, right? So at this point, the technologies that they pick up are not getting them closer to winning. And in fact, they're getting them further away from winning because every tech they pick up increases the cost of their victory techs. So we want to make this kind of stuff happen as much as possible. Let me jump in here and counter proposal.
Why would they want that?
Well, I mean, endless mechanisms is a good tech, and they didn't pick it up on the way there. And maybe they're figuring. I don't know how the AI makes these decisions. You know. Maybe they're figuring that the extra movement speed is valuable in their wars. Maybe they're figuring that the ruin searching is good. Maybe there's just like an abstract number attached to, like a weight value attached to the technologies in the AI's brain. And it's like, hey, that technology has a weight of 125. I should trade for techs that have more than 110. Who knows? All right, this is a pretty close deal. We're not going to be able to weasel anything out of them. I'm just going to take it straight up. And that means that we are at least at peace with every person in the game who is able to perform diplomacy. I think a huge part of this is that nobody considers us a threat at all.
This is how you win from behind.
This is unironically, this is how you win from behind. That's absolutely correct.
This is how I win. .gif.
All right, so we're gonna rush out the cryometric monitors so that we can build the topography buildings in Graldom next turn. Yeah, sure. Let me push through the museum too. The buyouts are pretty cheap. Okay. We want to also make sure every city has a governor. That's the thing I was saying. So Nathan currently is ungoverned, whereas we definitely have the resources to hire a governor here. Demand for governors is super high right now. Dust boost 2. These are all army boosts. Just a Murdap is like fine. Food boost 1 plus some dust stuff in the skill tree. Asala Arca. Honestly, Asala Arca is probably the winner. Is going to be the most science aligned of these heroes. You know how we do love an Ardent Mage. So we're going to go in here. Equip you. Make sure you're actually leveled up. Sadly, it's a pretty low level, Asala Arca. But still, more science is more science. And at this point, it's all we can really hope for. Okay, so we are continuing to search ruins. I have... Yeah, let's just get back on the road and we'll have this guy come out and grab the stuff in the west because we already ran this unit downward. It is not impossible to find tech in ruins. You're far more likely to find technology in sea ruins. Those sea ruins can cough up the naval technologies. I don't think land ruins... I'm trying to remember if there are... I know that it is at the very least very, very uncommon to find tech in land ruins. It might not be on the... There might not be any techs on the table. Or it might be, a thing that's only available in the later game. I don't actually know off the top of my head anymore. I'm sure I did at one point. Alright, so... We are going to very quickly at the beginning of the turn move down to this ruin. Try to make sure we're not getting killed by pink here before we can get some value out of this guy. Keep in mind, the ruin right next to the city is locked by a quest. We have to have a certain set of resources with us to interact with it, and these other ones have Mycera garbage all over them. All right, dive. What do we got? Okay, 20 adamantium. Again, you're seeing how much generally more powerful sea ruins are at this point in the game than they were early on. They would give us 20 Hyperium if we gave them endless mechanisms. This is a tech that is highly valued by a lot of players. Pink is formally closing their borders to us, which is a little concerning. That is a thing the AI often does as a prelude to war. But Pink is in a lot of wars right now. I don't know. Oh, interesting. They pushed a deal on us that's like very much in their favor as far as they're concerned. We can take another tech off of them if we want.
All right.
It will have to be an Era 1 technology. It looks like all the Era 2 stuff is. So this stuff is not even necessarily good for us, except it's a tech and it moves us forward, right?
Yeah.
So we have a better level of titanium and glass steel weapons technology, but a thing about these techs that I think gets overlooked a lot is that having multiple levels of the tech gives you discounts. You can see at the bottom of the tooltip there. Taking this now would give us a 20% discount on the costs of our titanium and glass steel items.
Okay.
I think I'm going to take that. I think it's more relevant than this other stuff. Aqua Pulvistics would let us build a building that puts dust onto the water tiles that we're working. And at this point, we are working a fair number of water tiles. Maybe that's worth it. It's probably more worth it. We don't intend to... Oh, the math got readjusted a little bit there. Well, I mean, I would trade more stuff to you. I'm willing to trade more stuff to you because I don't think you're a threat in any way. Not that Red couldn't take us. Although I don't think they could, but they are not a threat for winning the game. Yeah, I'll do this. That's fine. The bunch of Hyperion they gave us, we will actually use as well. Okay. Apparently somebody killed the Guardian headed for Morinlock. It was probably walking through Green's territory, because it spawns a certain distance away from the city. So it was probably just like walking through Green's territory, and Green killed it as it passed. It's just like, what the hell are these neutrals doing here? Okay, so everybody's getting Geomic Labs. This is an incredibly quick to build building, and with our cities the sizes that they are, we're going to get a fair amount of extra science out of that. Here we are also going to build the Center for Mineralogy. I think this is the city where it makes the most sense. This has got to be the highest science output of all of our cities, right? Yeah.
Because that's a one-time one, right?
Yeah, this is one that you can only have one of in your empire. And this is the city with the highest population.
Yeah.
We'll just go ahead and rush that out. I want that active immediately. All right, Geomic Labs everywhere. That's the most important thing. Keep pushing that rate of scientific acquisition upward. And let's get some ruins. Let's hope for some cool stuff. Okay, 35 blood crystal. At least it's enough blood crystal to fire a booster. That ruin is behind a lava wall. Are we allowed in Red's territory? We're not. Red has closed borders to us. That's fine. We'll just go get these water ruins. There's a lot of people on this map who don't particularly care for us. Apparently there are ships there. They must be subs, so we couldn't see them until we were close.
Yeah.
Alright, so at the beginning of the turn here, let's just get the first purification circle away from the pink coastline. I would like to be able to search all these other sea ruins out here. We'll see whether we get jumped or not. But if we're far enough away from the coastline that they can't see our boat with the coastal buildings, it reduces the odds that we'll get that we will suddenly get murked. Okay, Zarcha Achinol. You know, we should probably swap, because Zarcha Achinol is the governor of the capital. This Argbad Bos Valhalla is not as built up, and does not those percentage boosts would be more useful over here. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just gonna swap the governors of these two cities. So grab Zarcha for this city. Morinlock can take on you. Okay. So the city's putting out 814 science per turn now, which is, you know, it's all right. Mm-hmm. We can put down another expansion here, and this one will be approval positive because it's going to level up another district. Plus, it builds around these two little pillar spots that we've got, which is nice. So as things stand right now, we are still 2 technologies short. We are working hard on Imperial funding, which is going to give us another big science building. And then we're going to try to run through very quickly Civic Instruction, which will be the tech that pushes us into the next era, plus 100 XP when recruiting units. And then in the new era immediately, this one, which gives another 120. And with that, level 5 units being created with 220 bonus experience should be sufficient for them to come out as level 6s.
Okay.
So at this point, it wouldn't even be valuable to trade for tech anymore, I don't think, because we need these 2 technologies that we're researching anyway. Okay, a whole bunch of pixie blood. That's fun. The technology for the bathysphere. So we're gonna finish. We're gonna move up into the next era a little earlier than we thought we were. Sadly, we can't even build the techs early. Like, it really doesn't help us to have gotten that other thing. Let's build a district here. Is that the best? Yeah, whatever. It's fine. Now we're going to run into this problem of we have a lot of cities and not necessarily a huge number of useful things to build in some of them. This can happen in the late game, especially if your cities are not particularly well planned. And let's just, it might be the case. Might be the case that our cities could have used some additional planning. All right, so we got a bunch of money. Let's take a quick look at the market. In particular, we would love to see Moonleaf. I'm sure that the players who are actively competing for a science victory right now are taking all the Moonleaf. We should run this gold booster. That's going to be worthwhile. Blood Crystal is a significant attack boost for all of our units. That's a thing we might want to sit on until such time as, war gets declared. This is significant health regen. Those are both fine. We have 20 dust water and would only need 10 more to fire a significant cash increase booster here. And then we're already running the Red Sang. I mean, there's something to be said for just stockpiling gold so that we can, or stockpiling dust so that we can rush through the buildings really fast.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to spend everything, but it probably is worth getting that booster fired because that booster is going to be dust positive. Okay. Taking a lot of internal development focused turns here. The "You Are Going Up in Era" song cut off by the coming of winter. Celebrations suddenly aborted by, oh no, oh fuck, it's cold. This occurs. These things can happen. All right, so one thing that it would probably be a good idea to do is to repurpose at least one of our explorers here into a pearl grabber. So let's just get you back on land. Yeah, because like the anomalies right next to our cities are pumping out huge amounts of pearls at this point in the game. Chaka just got flipped red. That's probably that's a pretty big deal in the red versus purple war. That's an embarrassing failure of purple. Okay, the grass silk ran out. We can't really replace it. Unit production costs are up until the end of the winter. That said, this is 1 to 12 turns. This is actually quite a short winter for this long, or this late in the game.
Is there any faction in the game that's like, hell yeah, it's winter?
Man. Fucking Mycera. Yeah, sort of. The Alayi, yeah, basically yes. It's part of the reason that they're my favorite.
Yeah,
One of the things.
You're very much a winter person. And you're at the height of your powers.
Thank you. Alright, so we get all that going. We have deals coming in. They would like all of our adamantium for like a turn and a third of our income. I don't actually think that's in our best interest. They would like a commercial agreement. And for us to give them a technology. That doesn't... No thanks. We got a quest to conquer an oceanic region from that sea ruin. We're not going to be bothering with that. I do not have any interest in building ships. Okay, so like I said, we need to get these two technologies down. I do not think we're going to need this earlier game one that gives 40 XP. I'm pretty sure it's irrelevant. There is a tech here, sacrificial amplifiers, that will give us +1 arcana, +1 level on our pillars and our spells. This, I believe, is the level of pillar research that will cause our pillars to gain an extra tile to their radius. So it's very big. It's a very strong research, but we have a goal here. We're pushing towards something specific, right?
Yeah.
Find me Moonleaf. Okay, 150 dust, I feel like, is almost an insultingly small amount. Okay, so we have just finished the technology for an extremely powerful science building. And we are for sure going to rush one of these here. Unfortunately, they cost 25 titanium and 5 hyperium each. So we actually just don't have the titanium to start building a second one anywhere. But Graldam, the scientific capital of our empire, certainly gets one. Our overall rate of resource incomes is pretty thin. And it's less than you would expect for an empire of our size. We've really seen very few resource tiles, but that might not be a thing that's unique to us. It might be the case that the world generated kind of short on resources. The overall resource levels is one of those things that I leave on random.
Okay.
So sometimes you're going to see it. Sometimes it's going to be like that. All right, continuing to gather pearls. Continuing to slowly plumb the ocean depths for additional resources.
You know, that kind of variability is something that I think is undervalued a lot at least in my sphere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you might have very different games that feel very different because of the resources that are available. It might be a wildly different thing. There's not a standardized experience. It's something I really appreciate in game design, both digitally and in board games. The idea that, you know, here's what you have. What do you do with it?
Well, yeah, variable conditions. It's easy to sort of like learn a pretty rigid way to play in games where you have similar conditions from game to game, or the same conditions from game to game. I find that a higher variability of conditions rewards people who develop a more generalized kind of skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's less about learning and memorization and more about like actually having a grasp and mastery of the mechanics.
Yeah,
okay.
and
Another quest. Bring at least 3 embarked land units to these indicated sunken ruins for 25 mithrite, which is actually a thing we're having a lot of trouble getting a hold of right now. This is worth it. If we can get some land units over here, that 25 mithrite's a big deal.
I'd say for me, someone who doesn't really master games, I'm not really good at a lot of games, but I like I don't even want to say narrative experience. I like seeing how a system changes with different inputs.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that kind of variability is really interesting and rewarding because like it can go so differently. I like winding up the machine and watching it go, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so civic instruction is finished. In 3 turns, we'll have the tech for the other military building, and we can get on the construction of these zealots. It has been a lot of turns without any movement on our faction quest, and I am a little concerned as to where everybody else is going. I will say I'm sort of keeping my head in the sand here as far as the outcome of the wars. Was that island pink or purple before?
I don't remember.
Does seem like there's a lot of purple territory here. Green took the island of Dunnan. Oh no, not really. Okay, Green has moved their Urkin over to the island. I was gonna say I thought we saw a pink settler headed in this direction earlier, but I guess Green probably stonewalled them with the Urkin. And frankly, good on them. Okay, so let's talk about this National Military College. That's not the thing. Here we go. The Army Manual. So this is 5 Hyperium. It's got a fairly high build cost. We probably want to build these things in Graldom, even if Graldom is the city where we'd like to stay science focused. It's just the fact that because this is the city that has the most people, it's the city that's easiest to push into build mode. So that would cost us, okay, 2,300 to rush out. We'll have plenty of dust next turn, in theory. Am I allowed in Green's territory? I am. Okay. We're not going to steal any of Green's pearls, but ruin searching is non-competitive. Us searching these ruins does not prevent them from searching the ruins, so we're going to come down here and get some of that. Oh, wait, this is the ruin that's highlighted for precious wealth. We can't search that until we have the 3 embarked units with us. So that's not a helpful direction to be going in. We have not received any notifications from anybody yet. Any victory notifications. And I'm a little surprised because I thought a couple of people were in position to start pushing on victory conditions, but I think the wars are really distracting.
That makes sense.
Okay, our pillars ran out, which probably means... okay, armies are back to regenerating health as normal. Our pillars ran out, which probably means that, in fact, we are not buying up that building this turn because we're going to want to put down a bunch of pillars instead. I'm going to build another burrow. Well, let me build this marketplace first. Let's get this city sorted out happiness-wise, get the extra incomes, then we'll figure things out from there. All right. There's a couple more clusters of sea ruins yet to be searched over here. We only have to worry about Pink's ships because we are at peace or better with everybody else. Nobody else can attack us in the water. It's a thing worth remembering. Okay, so we're already on next turn. The right tech? No. Never mind. I was gonna say we're already on next turn, we're done with the thing, except apparently I clicked a wrong technology at some point. So I was gonna say, do we really need the science? Is that the place where we're focused next? But yeah, it is. We need the science quite badly. So let's tuck some science pillars in around our cities here. How many pillars do we want to build? I don't know, like a whole bunch.
12. Can you build 12?
12, you think? That feels high. So these are each +5, plus another 3 during winter. Remember, we have the fancy winter pillars now. Pulling down over here. I guess it is worth remembering that we're getting a little bit of extra value out of the pillars around Graldom because we have the big percentage modifiers to the amount of science that this city is producing. So I'm actually going to put down a bunch out here. The next one would be 650 dust. Maybe that's good. And then we need to we're going to want to keep an eye out for when our dust producing boosters end and try to buy our way back into them. There's a ton of red sang on the market right now, but also demand's really high. Titan bones are up, but not enough for us to actually buy a booster. The grass silk has run out, and grass silk is apparently very available. That'll pay itself off in like 3 turns, and we'll just get 7 turns of profit. Okay. Inoculation stations. Turns out to be pretty important to traveling militaries. Disease has killed far more soldiers than any army ever has.
Yep.
Hey there, Green. What's going on? Wow, we have found nothing in an awful lot of these ruins. Alright, the red sang has run out as well. I believe there was enough red sang. Yeah, it's very expensive is the thing. Do we have any left over? We don't, so we'd have to buy a full 30 in order to run a booster. And it's not low enough priced for us to be able to do that. The first 10 red sang would cost us 550, and that would drive the price up. So I guess for now we're just gonna ignore this.
Okay.
There's Hydromiel here. Hydromiel reduces the upkeep cost of your heroes, and at this point in the game, hero upkeep is 162.8 dust per turn.
Jeez.
So this would save us an awful lot of money over a full booster, but again, we can't afford to. It would be like 400 dust to buy the first 10, and then that would drive the price up. So we're just gonna go without there for a bit. What do we want to build down here? We can't actually build this abbey because I put the pillar on top of our on top of the anomaly nearby. So yeah, this city is kind of in a position where it can't build anything of value. Well, it would not be a bad idea to just pump out some military units if we could do that. I'm going to, in fact, adjust the design of the Telsum Warlock because we are not going to use these units for combat. I'm going to just make the cheapest unit we can possibly have because these guys, their only purpose is going to go get that that ruin. So we have to return with a total of 3 embarked units. So these 2 will join the other one and get the Mithrite out of that ruin. I think that's reasonable. And then over here we have lots of stuff we can still be building. Also burrows and also, yeah, okay. It's going to take forever for them to actually get over there, but I don't know exactly what we will need Mithrite for. It's just good to have, and we have no access to it naturally. Let's take a quick second here. Is anybody showing up on... Nope, there's still nobody has any victory tax. Yeah, just a remarkable lack of movement on most of the victory conditions. People are, I think, really bound up in this war. It is worth noting that purple is at 22% of the economic victory. And like a lot of things in Forex games, this is one of those things where, like, getting a bunch of dust makes it easier to get a bunch more dust, and you can From players who are really pursuing that thing, you can see like one of those ridiculous like exponential return graphs. Purple is clearly not doing that. I don't know. I'm not sure what the other players are doing, but I'm grateful to them for giving us the time that we need to get back in here.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about the game? Are you still feeling pretty?
I'm still feeling pretty negative. I do feel like this is a game that could get sort of pulled out from under us at any time, but for the moment, we're still sort of building in the shadow of an awful lot of stuff happening. Everybody's not paying attention to us, and that's pretty hugely to our benefit. Oh, here's a victory notification. Okay, so the green just finished their first victory attack. They may be going for it. These guys would give us 23 Hyperium if we gave them the technology that we just developed for military reserves. You know what? I'm inclined to take this. Even if that tech's not good value, I don't think Red has time to benefit from it. I think they just gave us resources for no reason. Basically for free. And I am disinclined to discourage that behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have a ton to do here. I might actually just pump out a bunch of these cheap Telsum Warlocks. What is funny?
Oh, the name you gave one of the units just...
It's the fast horsey. Could you not stand right there? That's the tile I want to stand in. If you could please move.
What was the war declaration?
I right-clicked to move into this space right as their guy moved into the space. And they were like, really? Do you really want to attack your ally? And no, I don't. He just walked in front of my horses. It's the fast... Amabel?
Yeah?
Wars have been won by who has the fastest horses. It's a critical military infrastructure.
I mean, there's a complicated answer to that.
Haven't you? What answer? It's not a question. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're not entirely accurate.
I am. The rider was lost for need of a horseshoe. The battle was lost, etc., and all for the want of a fast horsey. You know the poem.
Dude, I do know the poem.
It's a very famous poem for a reason, because the point it makes is really good and smart and normal. What I like most about poems is when they're normal. Okay, so short winter, as we suspected it would be. We can buy out our army manual at the same time as we are finishing the research on the inoculation station. We have the resources to construct such a station. We have an offer of a research agreement from Green, so we're not going to do this. This would increase the amount of science that our trade routes produce with them. We do not want to do anything to improve their science output at this point in the game. Also, they think we should pay for this research agreement to get started. That's a little silly.
See, the thing about the benefit of the cavalry in military history, it really depends on the era and the armaments. It's actually a pretty limited use before the medieval period, and then becomes less useful as time goes on. I think a lot of the importance given to cavalry really has more to do with the fact that typically cavalry officers were nobility, and so it was them kind of writing their own stories about how great they are.
Excuse me, horses are information, and information is victory. Check out this magic ring of unnatural hunger. Plus 30% health and massive regeneration. What a cool ring.
I mean, I think you're right that the use of horses in reconnaissance is quite vital. I'm just saying as a...
I know I'm right.
Their battlefield utility.
You don't really need to even say that. I feel like that goes without saying.
It's pretty limited.
Ooh, Ooh, 40 Dust Orchid. That was a good find. Look at what this does. Our access to endless mechanisms finally paying off. We're going to run that booster immediately. Plus 20% to everything. Hell yeah.
Honestly, you also could argue that map making technology, military map making, and the progress of that particular art.
Sure.
Is a more,
And traditionally, maps also made by the horses. So.
No, made with the horses. That's what you use the hide for.
Amabel, that is a very gruesome joke, and I don't care for it. They would pick up the pen with their hooves. Everybody knows this. This is well known. Uh-oh, another victory notification. The necrophages are... We're in a world where the necrophages are also pushing the science victory. Concerning? You bet. Okay, we get the last level of Firestarter on Zarcha Atenul here, which is cool, but not the most critical thing at the moment. The most critical thing is that we now have the ability to do inoculations. So... do we have any units that are actually level 5? We don't, right? I'm not 100% sure. The 220's gotta be good enough. It's 120 XP from level 3 to level 4. Do we have a level 4 unit anywhere? I just want to... Nope, you're also level 3. I want to try to get a sense of what the growth rate is, what the progression rate is. You're also level 3. You're level 4. Okay, so 160 for level 4 to level 5. 120, 160. So at that rate... Yeah, level 5 to level 6 should be either 200 or 220, depending on which type of scaling is being used there, I think. So I think the inoculation station should be good. I might go back and grab the extra 40 XP just because it's like basically cheap. It's basically free to get it. And then I think we're going to bonus level on our pillars. I don't know if it'll affect the pillars that are already down. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so just like filling our cities with military units. What would it cost to buy this out? This would be 4,243 dust. We are, of course, accumulating an awful lot of dust right now per turn. The war has really driven up the price of strategics, it looks like. And we know that the Kapaku would really love to get a hold of our adamantium. We can also sell our adamantium on the market for like a pretty okay price. We need to generate 2,500 dust to be able to buy that building out this turn. I don't know if we can do that. Let's do two things real quick. First of all, 870 is what we need to keep our current level of Empire Plan. No, sorry, 600. 870 is what we have. 600 is all we need. All right, let's go talk to Green. Hey, buddy, you wanted this adamantium. And the thing is, I really do want you to win your war. How much dust do you have for me? That's so much dust, my dude. What about like 2,500 of it? Wow, okay, that's red off the screen. That's so much red. How much would you let me... He would not even pay 200 dust for this much adamantium. Okay, well, never mind then. We'll put it on the market where you will pay a significant amount more than that, and you can just buy it there, asshole. Or maybe your opponents will buy it. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna... Because we don't need to... We don't need this resource in order to do what we're trying to do. So we can accelerate things a little bit by selling down a bunch of this. I don't want to sell it all. We're also going to need an Ardent Mage hero with the Transcendent Rod equipped. So that doesn't need to be Zarcha Atenul. We probably want to leave Zarcha Atenul in place. But we have a bunch of other Broken Lords, or a bunch of other Ardent Mages heroes that we've hired in. If we like send a Sala Arca down there, yeah, that seems fine. So it'll cost 18 to give her that. So we can also sell a bunch of our Hyperium, since we now have paid the Hyperium that we needed for the thing. How much is this? Okay, the Hyperium is even more valuable.
I don't think I've seen you sell much during these.
No, it's not a thing that is always a good idea, and a lot of times you need your resources. I don't... We have to get to 4,200. I might just go ahead and let a turn pass. We'll just do a turn of construction on this and then buy it out.
Okay.
Because I don't want to bottom out our resources. I want to have a little bit left for, you know, being reactive. Alright, let us continue to search more ruins. Okay, 150 more dust. It's helpful. In friendly territory, we're able to, like, in ally territory, we're able to move through all of his buildings and use his roads and stuff, and it's actually very easy to get around over here. The Night Hammer. It's a bow. That's not a... Okay.
How hammers work.
Got me all excited. I thought we had found a great big smashing weapon. You know how I love a smashing weapon.
So I guess you could use it to knock someone's block off.
Okay. I love how pleased with that you were. That's the best part of that for me. The good news is we got a bunch of Hyperium out of that. So I do think, in fact, we can sell enough Hyperium to just rush this out this turn. And then I am not going to put anything in the build queue. So the city will store up a certain amount of industry. Like the industry that we're producing this turn will basically just sit on top of the pile. I don't remember exactly how much a city will like hold in the queue. It's not an infinite amount. I want to say it's like an amount. It's an amount that's based on the city's production. It's like 5 turns of production or something, I think. But now I'm telling you that I couldn't tell you where that number comes from in my head. I may just be making that up. But in any case, we put that down. We finish the technology for the other little tiny
And you would want
XP
to
building,
store
which
that
I'm gonna put down here, just in case, because I'm really nervous. Because we wanted to start building these units, but I didn't want to start doing it until after we had the last XP building, which we didn't have the research finished for last turn.
Right.
Okay, so now we need to produce 2 level 6 Ateshi Zealots. Our current Ateshi Zealot design is costly. So we got these fancy armors on. I'm not sure if we're going to have to fight when we get there or not. Let me look. What is the quest says? Magic is required to find its exact location. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to produce the cheapest possible Ateshi Zealots, but with significant move speed. So that's the design we've just created there. Fast but cheap. We need to produce 2 of these. And it would be great to buy them out. They are about 1,000 each, 1,100 each. So it won't take very many turns to get there. Out of curiosity, we have lowered Hyperium demand a little bit, by selling Hyperium to the market, but then also people are buying it back immediately, so they're driving the prices back up. Okay, so we should be able to... Let me make sure that conscription center gets done first. Yeah, we should be able to buy this out next turn. We're getting real close to having the things we need. You would like a commercial agreement. Are we trading with you? Is that even a thing? Oh, apparently all of our trade routes are with purple. At some point, that became more valuable than trading with green. Well, I guess so. The more money he's making off of us, the less likely he is to suddenly backstab us. People like to keep their economy functional.
Yeah.
Cool. 150 dust. Can I make it to another? Yeah, I can make it to another ruin. We have really good. I guess Khadora. Yeah, Khadora has roads built all the way across the thing to the other city over here. That's handy. If we can find enough dust in these ruins, we might be able to just rush this other unit out now. Come on, one more dust. Indeed, I think that's enough. You're not making it to another ruin. It is. Okay, once again, please get finished after the conscription center. All right, so are you ready for the horrifying disappointment when it turns out it takes like 300 XP for some reason?
Yep.
And then we'll probably just end the episode right there. I would love to actually get the quest step done, but unfortunately we are a little time constrained today.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But it'll give us a good thing to start on for next episode.
The problem is I ate up so much time talking about horses.
Yeah, I don't know why I even build horses, because I know what the effect's gonna be. It's like Amabel's gonna get all mired down in this.
Okay, well, the thing is, I have done a lot of games that have horses, and I've had a lot of people... I have very strong opinions, researched opinions about horses throughout history, and a lot of people just want them to be like tanks. And horses are not tanks, actually. They... I don't know if you know this. You could not... If you use an anti-tank weapon on a horse, it's a different effect than on a tank.
Okay, the Mycera just died.
Oh. Which one is the Mycera?
Pink just claimed that huge Mycera city over there.
Wow.
With all of the wonders in it and everything. Remember how the Mycera had built all of the wonders and had the most beautiful and sprawling city in all the lands, and also had control of all the oceans?
Okay.
The sudden death of the Mycera player actually is kind of interesting. You know what else is interesting?
What?
Red has built a little siege group here and is currently performing coastal bombardment on the city of Laris.
Okay.
With no bombardment ships and also an Urkin. This is a very silly thing to do. That's going to get them all killed. And blue's death means all of a sudden there's a loose Urkin.
Oh.
Okay. A lot of things about the world just changed. That's a very interesting position to come back on. We are, for the moment, going to set out this army. We're going to assign... let me make sure I get the right one. It was this Asala Arca, yeah. We're going to unassign Asala Arca from here. Does Asala Arca have... No, she does not have a movement bonus, so she's going to be slowing this army down. Let's fix that. And then we throw just like some very basic improvements on her. Okay. All right, so this army is ready to go. It has movement. It will prompt us. We will not be able to forget it. The ruin is in Ishimlor. Where is Ishimlor? Ishimlor is a place we're allowed to be. It's not that far, given the roads. Okay. Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff all of a sudden is occurring. And we are going to parse our way through it next time. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you return, maybe we'll steal an Urkin. Maybe Pink will immediately win the game. Maybe we'll be able to push our faction quest forward. Who knows? I think a lot of weird stuff could occur now. So come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.
Bye.